So for today's chair yoga, when I was planning this, I'm sorry that the other people are missing this part because I really work on what I'm going to start with. So in yoga, we do something called sun salutations, right? And yoga is a practice that's they're not sure. It could be 5,000 years old. For sure, it's 4,000 years old. But they were, you know, doing sun salutations, greeting the sun back then. And I was thinking about the sun because here I am in Florida and in New York. It was sunny yesterday when I was doing this. And I just finished this book called Luminous Life by Dr. Jacob Israel Lieberman, who's an optometrist, about light and the sun. And I just wanted to read actually two paragraphs, because I thought about the pull of the sun and how in yoga we salute the sun, and about light. So light guides more than just our eyesight. It also guides our breathing, our heartbeat, our sleep-wake cycle, and much more. When light enters the eyes, the entire brain lights up because the light does not just travel to the brain's visual cortex, enabling us to see. It travels along several different routes that involve the entire brain, significantly affecting all our life-sustaining functions as well as our emotions, balance, and coordination, to name a few. All biological life is composed of and dependent on light. The term solar system means of or derived from the sun. In fact, 98% of the sun's light enters the body through the eyes, and the other 2% enters by way of the skin. Thus, light is the primal nourishment for life. The body is a biological light receptor. The eyes are transparent biological windows designed to receive and emit light, and all physiological functions are light dependent. For example, routine exposure to sunlight reduces the resting heart rate, respiratory rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar, while increasing energy, strength, endurance, stress tolerance, and the ability of the blood to absorb and carry oxygen. So the yogis who 4,000 or 5,000 years ago designed our practice to salute the sun had something. And light really helps our biology. Our heartbeat changes, our blood changes. It is a force of life. So I just thought I would share that with you because I just thought it was beautiful to know, and how science and yoga somehow are always connected. Today we're going to focus on our breath, focus on our movement, mind-body connection, and we will salute the sun. So let's start by warming up our shoulders in some shoulder circles. So take your shoulders back, lift them up towards the ears, and bring them down in front of you. And do that 3 times in a circular motion. I'll take my hair away so you can see what I'm doing. And then go in the other direction. Go in the other direction. So I'm doing a lot of studying now. I'm in a yoga training again to become certified with 300 hours. Take your ear to your shoulder. So shoulders stay down. Ear comes to the right shoulder, and then tuck the chin forward. And I'm reading all about injuries, and ear comes to the left, and how important all of this work is. It sometimes seems silly, I know, to be doing like simple warm-ups. Again, bring your chin to your chest. Exhale as you bring your ear to your shoulder, and inhale as your chin comes to chest, and then bring your head center. Let's inhale our arms up as we touch the sun. Look up at your hands, not a big bend in the neck, and then exhale, bring them down. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, down. Let's put our hands on our bellies, lower belly, under your navel, feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in through the nose and fill the belly. See if you can actually move your hands. Fill the diaphragm, which should expand the belly. And as you exhale, feel the belly contract. Try to bring the navel towards the spine. We're just trying to move our hands, feel the breath, fill the belly. So again, inhale, long inhale, like 4 or 5 seconds, and then exhale. One more, inhale, and exhale. Let's put our hands out in front of us, stretch those fingers wide as if there's a wall in front of you into a web. We're doing the web movement. So get that hand flat, stretch out the fingers, give those fingers a big stretch. Take them into claws. So really good for arthritic hands. See if you can bend those knuckles, put energy into it. Claw. So today, Dr. Oz came out with something. Now let's make beaks. So see if you can move the thumb and then try to keep the thumb stable and move the hand. Do again, move the thumb. Dr. Oz came out with something about your grip and how that has been shown to be make a fist and push the fist into the wall in front of you, the imaginary wall. How your grip is an indicator of your lifespan and your cardiovascular health. So doing these kind of movements with your hands, the web, the claw, beak, and fist is really important for strength. He suggests wringing a towel, a wet towel over the sink, and it's the same thing as like claw and fist. You practice that. Just make believe you have an imaginary piece of cloth you're wringing out. It's really important. I even have trouble sometimes because I've gotten rid of the arthritis, but there's some residual, and opening a bottle of water is sometimes difficult. I don't know if any of you experience that. We need to keep our hands really as strong as we can. So next time you're in front of your kitchen sink, take that towel and give it a twist. Let's just move our torso, start over your right leg, and we inhale. So we're trying to coordinate the breath with the movement and focus on the movement. Breathe in through the nostril as you come over your front legs in a torso circle. And lean back, and we're leaning back from the hip center, not at the waist. And you exhale as you lean back through the nostril. Inhale as you come forward over the legs. And exhale as you lean back. And then when you come towards the side, just go in the opposite direction. But again, exhale as you lean back. Inhale as you bend over, bending at the hip flexor over your legs in the opposite direction. So we're going left first and then right, exhaling and inhaling. Before we get into the 7 movements of the spine, I just want you to check your position in the chair. So I'll go over it again just to make sure everybody is centered and correctly aligned in their chair. You want to have a fist distance away from the back of the chair so that your hips and your sit bones are centered on the chair, so you're very stable. Your feet should hit the floor. If they don't hit the floor, this is why you have a blanket. Take the blanket and put it under your feet. If you feel looking at your knee to your hip that your knees are lower than your hips, also put a blanket under your feet. If the opposite is true, and your hips are lower than your knees. So I'll say it again. If your hips are lower than your knees, put a blanket under your hips on the chair. So you want to use the blanket to even it out so that there's a straight line from knee to hip, but that your feet, so somebody who's 4'8" may not be able to have their feet touching the floor on this chair. They would use maybe even a couple blankets to lift their feet up, because you want to be able, in yoga, we always talk about rooting and rising, or the sweetness and the strength, or the ease and the strength. So we want to be able to push our feet into the floor and feel the gravity. Okay, so we're centered here. Make sure your alignment is also over your torso is over your hips. So when you're sitting in the chair, you want a very straight back. You want your rib cage to be over your hips, your shoulders over the rib cage, and the neck is long. The C1 and C2 vertebrae of the spine go into the neck, and it should be stacked right smack in the middle of the head. We don't want to be leaning forward. That makes our 10 or 12 pound head weigh up to 30 pounds at a 30-degree angle. So we really want to be as straight as could be. So we'll move our spine in the 7 directions. And what I've learned is that as we lengthen the spine, and I'm always cueing inhale, lengthen, It's so good because we walk around in life and we sit and the spine compresses. And that's why a lot of people have back pain because of muscles or because of compression. So that is sort of fighting against the compression. So try to, whenever you're sitting in a chair or you're standing, get tall. Put some length in the spine, which is what we're going to do now. So hands are in mountain pose by our side, palms facing forward. We lift and our palms are facing the ceiling. As we're inhaling through the nose, we touch the sun. Here we go with the light again. Look up at your hands, but a gentle looking up. We're not trying to create, like, push the neck back. We just want to have a gaze up at our hands and get really tall. So take an exhale here. And then as you inhale, get really tall. See if you can put an extra half inch in between each of those vertebrae. And then exhale, palms down, and let your hands come down. Let's do that again because it's so important. Palms are facing up. We're inhaling through the nose. Our hands touch. We get really tall on the inhale. Let yourself exhale. You might have to shrink down a little bit as you exhale, but then as you inhale, find some length. And then exhale the arms down. Now, again, I will say that if high blood pressure is your issue, you may not want to put those hands over your head. You can keep your hands, or if you have shoulder issues, you could keep your hands on your waist. You can put your hands in prayer at any time. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, and these are the only things I'll cue, otherwise you speak to your doctor, you know what you can and can't do, but you're not supposed to round your back, and we're about to round the back. So I'll leave that between you and your doctor because there's contradictory evidence in both directions. And if anyone needs the information, I'm happy to supply it after class. So always you can keep your hands in prayer, but we're about to move the spine in the other 5 directions. So the first thing is we're going to bend at the hip creaser, take your hands, let them slide down your legs as we come into a forward bend with a straight back. So you might only lean a little forward because you're keeping your back straight and your shoulders, your chest is wide, your heart is open. We're not collapsing for a forward bend. Take a deep breath here. As you inhale, see if that torso could get a little bit longer. And exhale, come back up. We're going to go back. So this time we're bending again at the hip. We're not bending at the waist. We're taking the whole spine and just leaning it back for a back bend, a gentle back bend. Put your right hand on the side of the chair and hold on, and take your left hand. And if you can, take it overhead, take it overhead. Otherwise, you could come to your waist or even half prayer. Otherwise, come, and we're doing a lateral bend towards the right, which is compressing the right side and stretching out the left side. Take a deep breath as you inhale, so you can get a little longer here. And as you exhale, relax a little and switch hands. So the left hand comes and holds the chair on the left, and the right hand comes overhead, if that's possible for you, as we lean to the left. And come back. We're going to twist. So you have a choice. I think what we'll do is we'll just stay face forward in the chair. So take your right hand, place it behind you on the chair, and your left hand comes onto the edge of your left knee. As we inhale through the nose, get tall, because we're always inhaling and finding length in the spine. So find length in the spine. And as you exhale, you're going to exhale, breathe out, and relax, and see if you can turn towards that back side of the chair, looking over your right shoulder for a twist. Again, as you inhale, get tall, and as you exhale, twist. Gently come back to center, and let's put the left hand on the chair behind you and the right hand on the left knee. Make sure that you're stacked, meaning your rib cage is over your hips. And then as you inhale, get tall. And as you exhale, take a twist. As you inhale, get tall again. And as you exhale, just relax. Relax into the twist. Now, when you come out of these twists, you want to be careful and you want to do it very slowly and gently. So come out of the twist. Hands are on your knees, and we'll just cat-cow. So now we're going to take the spine, and you're going to go into cow, as we inhale. So you inhale, you bring your navel forward towards your knees. So you're actually bringing your belly towards your knees. It's a little back bend. Your gaze is towards where the ceiling and the wall meet. You're putting like a curve in your spine, just a little bit, like a cow's back, scooped out. Now, as you exhale, you're going to bring the navel into the spine and you're almost rounding your back like a cat or a rainbow. Your chin comes towards the chest and you're going to do that back and forth. So we inhale cow and exhale cat. Inhale cow, exhale cat. One more time, inhale cow, exhale cat. If you have a strap, you might want to grab it just to have it ready. If you don't, it's totally fine. Strap, belt, scarf, or nothing. We're going to take our right knee and see if you can hug that into the chest. 2 hands around the knee. Stability. So your hips are still flat into the chair. Then you're going to take that leg and see if you can keep it lifted and take the strap if you have it, put it around the ball of the foot. It helps to have this because it gives you stability. If not, you can hold your leg, just let the thigh come onto the chair, and you might want to just hold your leg around the knee, the thigh, the calf, whatever you can reach. I won't use the strap, so for those of you who don't have a strap can see. You're going to flex and point your foot. So we're stretching every single part of our body. We stretch the arms, we stretch the spine, the neck, now the shoulders, now we're on the legs. And then let the leg come down to meet the other. Let's hug the left leg into the chest. Your strap is handy if you have one. Take the strap, put it around the ball of the foot if you have one. If not, you can just follow along with me. I won't use mine. You're going to let the thigh come back down to the chair. Let that leg come straight. It could be a bend in the knee. Don't forget to stand up tall and straight, shoulders away from the ears, and point and flex the foot. I don't know if you could hear that. My bone just cracked. My ankle. After this, we're going to do some sun salutations. So for those of you who didn't start at the beginning of class, I talked about the light of the sun and how sunlight and light in general, 98% of the sunlight comes in through the eyes and 2% through the skin. Let that leg come down. And our bodies, our respiratory system, our blood, everything about our biology is affected by sunlight. If you think about a plant and how it grows towards the sun, those of you who have houseplants know this. Our bodies do too. We're attracted to sunlight. We need sunlight to live. Okay, sun salutation A. So we start in Tadasana. Palms are out, arms are active. This is an isometric exercise. Put some energy into the arms. Press your feet into the floor. Widen those toes. Spread those toes out. Push your feet into the floor. And inhale. Bring your arms up to salute the sun. Hands touch. And as we exhale, bring the arms down. And at the same time, bring your hands to your knees. Come to that forward bend. Come halfway up with a flat back. Bring the shoulders back. We're not straight up. We're halfway. And come back down again. Now, leave your hands on your knees. Take your navel, bring it towards like we were in cow, but this time it's called cobra. We're going to bring the shoulders back. We're going to gaze up as our navel comes towards our knees for a slight back bend called cobra. Then we're going to come straight back. Hands come up just like we started in webs. Feet are up on our balls of our feet. Push those balls of the feet into the floor for a plank position. Imagine you're on the floor, able to do a push-up. This is how we start, plank. We're coming into down dog. So we're going to slide our feet out. We're forming a V, and we're going to take the arms up a little bit overhead, not all the way, as if we were on the floor and our body forms a V. So your neck is even with the spine. Your bend is at the hip crease. It's like your tailbone is the point of a V. That's down dog. Hold that, breathe. Put your hands on your knees. We're in a forward bend. Let yourself come to a forward bend. You can slide the feet slightly under the knees again. Come back to halfway, shoulders back to a forward bend, hands down at your side while you're forward bending, palms face up, and we reverse swan dive and breathe, touch the sun, and hands come to our heart. They designed this thousands of years ago to salute the sun, the light. Okay, so let's go into our flow. We may do another sun salutation later. So to go into a flow, we're going to start in warrior. If you have a yoga block, keep it sort of in the center. I want you to be able to see my feet, so I'm going to leave it to the side over here and I'll pick it up later. We're coming to, so to set yourself up for the warrior flow, because we're all warriors today, you're going to take your hips, lift them off the chair and come to the side of the chair. So if you can see, my hips are, I went to the right side, my left hip can come off. I had to just move it a little, can come off the chair, but I am solidly on the chair with my sits bones. My front leg is even 90, you want a 90-degree angle. So the ankle is under the knee, the toes are pointed straight ahead. This leg that's off the chair, you have a couple of options. If you have a yoga block and you'd like to place your knee on it, you can do that. You can not do that and just let your leg come the way that mine is right now on the ball of my foot with the leg bent. Or if you can, take the leg straight out. And you might want to keep the toes at a little bit of an angle, 45-degree angle. Our right hand is holding the back of the chair, so our torso is actually over the front leg. It's a little bit of a twist. Our left hand is at our heart center in a half prayer hand. And that's warrior one. You can also, if you have the range of motion, hold your arm up overhead. This is warrior one. We are going to wheelhouse. So you're going to take that left hand, and if it's at your heart center, just bring it back behind you. Now your torso is going to turn, so you're facing the side, in front of the chair. You're also going to take that foot, and if it was turned 45 degrees, you're going to take the toes straight out, facing straight ahead. So the back arm is now behind you. The front arm comes in front of you, and we like to say this in yoga: future is the front arm, past is the back arm, and you are present and in straight in the middle. So we want to be present. We're present with the breath. We're present with our body. We're holding our arms up at shoulder height. Put some energy in those arms. Get those arms really good and strong. Let those fingers have some energy. Claw them. Make a fist. Put them out straight, really wide. Remember, Dr. Oz says we got to keep really strong fingers and hands and a grip. Take your left hand, slide it down for peaceful warrior. Now, if you have a hard time with range of motion with your arm overhead, you can keep it on your hip. We're just sliding down. So if you notice, all of the asanas or the poses in yoga have the base of where we started with all of that warming up. So we did a lateral side stretch. We're basically doing a lateral side stretch right now as we do peaceful warrior. Take your right arm and take the forearm, place it on the front thigh. And now notice that from the pinky toe side of the foot, there's a straight line up my body as my arm comes overhead for side angle pose. If you have a hard time with reaching overhead, you can keep your hand on the hip or heart center. Otherwise, this is the side angle pose, and your gaze is straight ahead. Let's come back to peaceful warrior. So we're inhaling peaceful, and now just as you exhale, your pace, side angle. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nostril for peaceful warrior, and exhale for side angle pose. Come back to warrior two. So the arms come straight out, your chest is wide, your heart is open. Put your hands on your hips, bend that back leg, and turn your hips so that you're facing front with a wide-legged stance. So this is called wide angle legs. Put your torso straight, take a deep breath. Come out in goddess arms. So this arm pose, when my arms are bent up at shoulder height, if you notice, take your arms down, put them down. Feel your shoulders. So as I cue you, just Think about your back of your body. If you take your arms and put them in goddess, what's happening? Your shoulder blades are reaching for each other down your back, as if someone karate chopped the middle of your back and your shoulders came together. That's what goddess arm does. Yoga is all about mobility and functionality. It's great for posture. This gets us away from the front of the computer and our shoulders all hunched over. Twist to the right with goddess arms. Exhale, come center, and inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, come center. Let's do that one more time. Twist to the right as you inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Come center. Hands on your hips. Take that yoga block. Put the yoga block down where, if you were bending, your forehead would kind of be, or not. Actually, take it in a little bit. Let's put it under the shoulder. So lean forward and just slide it under the shoulder and let that right arm, so it's in the center because you're going to twist. So right arm under the shoulder is on the block at its tallest level. If you don't have a block, a paper towel roll is okay, or just keep your hand on your knee. Okay, and you can bend the elbow because we're gonna look up and come that way. So you can just actually keep your forearm on your knee and twist that way. So, but if you have a block, hands on the block, and your left arm is up in the sky. If you don't want to raise your arm overhead, you can leave it on your hip. Try to keep that right knee is the tendency would be to turn it in. See if you can make sure to keep it out as your gaze is up where the ceiling meets the wall or towards the ceiling. And if your hand is on your thigh, your forearm's on your thigh, you're looking up and you're twisting your torso. And come center very gently and slowly. And now if you have a block, you can place the left hand on the block. If you don't have a block, you can place your forearm on your thigh. Your hand could be on your waist as you take that right shoulder and bring it up and behind you, and you're twist. You're twisting here. And come center, both hands on your knees, remove the block, bring your legs together, and we have the other side to do. That's the beautiful thing about yoga. When we finish one side, we have to do the other. So we're going to take our hips, and this time we're coming to the left side of the chair for warrior poses. So my left leg is bent, my ankle is under my knee, toes are pointed straight ahead. The right leg, the hip comes off the chair, kind of so I can dangle the leg. My knee could be on a block, my foot could be just like this on the ball of my feet, or if you can bring that leg somehow straight, it could be out towards, in front of you with a 45-degree angle in the toe where the foot. Warrior one, so that my left hand is now holding the back of the chair, my right arm comes into half prayer or overhead. We want to breathe here. So if you're at half prayer, we're just taking a couple breaths. Check your body. Check in with yourself. If your torso, like mine, I can see is leaning forward, see if you can lean it back so that it's over your hip bones. Then let's take that right hand and wheel it back. Turn the toes so that they're facing straight ahead if they're out this way. And your left arm's in front of you, your right arm is behind you, and your body is in the center. And we take a few minutes here or a few breaths here as we're in warrior two. Put some strength in those arms. Squeeze them into fists. Claw them. Do a little beak thing here. And then keep your hands webbed out. Strengthen your fingers as you are a warrior. This is warrior two. This is really a warrior pose. Okay, take that right hand and let it slide down your leg as you inhale into peaceful warrior. Your arm could be by your ear and overhead, or it could be on your waist. And then exhale into side angle, that straight line that goes from the tips of my fingers to the outside pinky toe side of my foot. And then inhale, we're going to do this with the breath again. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And come back to warrior two. Warrior pose is a balance pose. It's a strength pose, and we're always looking for something to relax. Relax your hips gently. If your hips are tense right now and you're squeezing anything there, let them sink into the chair and really fall and deeply relax. While your arms, you have to have strength to hold your arms. If you're having a hard time, you can just bring them down to your waist. But this takes strength and energy to keep your arms straight out in front of you. Bring your hands to heart center. And let's bend that back knee if it's not already bent. Turn and face the center of the room. Hands on your knees. We're just going to do a forward bend here. So the elbows come out as you bend and reach into a forward bend. Don't fall off the chair. Make sure your hips are centered and on the chair. And exhale, come up. Bring your legs together. We're going to do eagle. I don't know if anyone remembers doing this last week. So we've been bringing, I always talk about opening the chest and the heart. This time we're actually going to stretch and rotate the shoulders in the opposite direction. So bring your right hand so it's straight out in front of you, and take your left hand and bring it over on top of the right, and twist the arms if you can. You might only be able to get here, and that's good. If you can have your palms touch and twist them, then lift the elbows up so that they're shoulder height. Now, if you can, and you'd like to take this a little further, we're going to take the right leg and put it over the left. And see, you might just be right here, and this is good. But if you can take that ankle and wrap it around the back of the left leg, you are now in a full eagle pose. And if you can bend at the hip crease, because if you were in a standing eagle, you would bring this into more of a challenge by bending at the hip crease while you're standing. You feel the shoulders. So come back up if you are bent, undo the legs, gently and slowly relax the arms and bring them down onto, so your hands are on your thighs. Let your shoulders just relax before you stretch them back or do anything. Just let them relax. We have to do the other side. So take your left arm, bring it out in front of you. Take your right arm, put it on top, and twist them if you can. And if not, just wherever you are right there, you can just even hug yourself. Bring the elbows up and take the left leg and put it on top of the right, and see if you can twist that all around. Bring the elbows up. Remember to keep the elbows up and bend at the hip crease if that's within your range of motion. Deep breath. And come back up. Uncross the legs, uncross the arms, and just let them relax. We'll do a little tree. And if you can come out of the chair, this is a great time to come out of the chair. If not, I'll cue it from the chair. We come up. I do want you, if you're out of the chair, though, to have the chair nearby. So come to the right side of the chair so that your left hand can touch the chair if you need it, or just hold on if you want. Spread the toes wide. You can, there's more stability a little bit if you can have like even half a fist worth distance between your 2 feet. Shift your weight before you lift anything. Shift your weight to your left foot. As you do that, take the right foot up so that you're on the ball of the foot. If you have to hold on, that's fine. This is all about balance, which helps you not fall. So it's really important to do this. Take that heel and turn it towards the inside of the left leg. Now, we all tend to compensate by jutting a hip out. Try to check yourself to see that your hips are even and you're not doing this, which is falling into your left hip. See if you can keep that hip straight as you gently lift the leg to hold the inside, to lift it towards the inside of the foot. You can hold on. Now, if you can only just get to touching toes and having that heel up, that's good too. It's all good, and you will progress if you practice. Fine to hold on to the chair. You can bring it up to the inside of the calf, the inside of the thigh, if there's not too much compression. Wherever works for you. We're going to take a few moments, few breaths, just not moments, but breaths here. If your leg comes down because you lose your balance, it's okay. Come back up, smile. It's just giving you information. I can't tell, but if anyone's sitting in the chair, I forgot to cue that, you're just going to come onto the ball of the foot of the right foot, basically do the same thing and try to lift the right leg up against the left while we do this. But I think everyone's standing. And you release. Let's come to the other side of the chair. So if you have to, you can grab onto the chair with the right hand. First, spread the toes. Get a sense of your body weight and where you are in balance, and then shift the weight to the right side. If you're in the chair, shift the weight of your foot into the right foot. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Turn the heel, same thing if you're in the chair, towards the inside of the right foot, and then lift if you can. And you can lift it all the way to the inside of the thigh. Now, when you're lifting to get it to the inside of the thigh or the inside of the calf, don't forget to not jut the hip out. You're pressing the standing leg into the foot. So if you want some helpful hints on how to get the balance, you are pressing both in towards each other. That helps you stay up, but you can hold on to the chair too. Deep breath and then release. If you're standing, before you sit down, just feel your legs, feel the evenness or unevenness in the two legs. Take a deep breath and then come to the chair. We'll do pigeon. So let's place our left leg so that the ankle is under the knee. Take the right leg, and if you have this range of motion, cross it over and let it rest on the top of the thigh. Now, you can see me, my leg is not straight across, which is the way that, that is the goal, but everybody is different, you know. Um, I love reading that a 5-foot ballerina and a 6'5" 300-pound football player can both do yoga. All of our bodies are different and we celebrate that difference. So wherever you are is fine. And wherever you can put that leg up on your left leg is fine. Hold the foot of the right leg with your left hand and let your forearm come onto the knee. And you're not going to press so that it hurts. In yoga, we want no extra pain here, but let's stretch out the hip. This is a hip stretch. It's not a leg stretch. And we don't want to hurt any knees, but lean forward at the hip crease if you can and give that hip. You're opening up the hip flexor. So deep breaths here. And come up and let's just do the other leg. And you're going to feel a difference. So, our right side's different than our left side. Take the left leg, bring the ankle up over the right thigh, hold the foot with your right hand, and come with the forearm onto the knee and lean forward with a straight back as you press down and open up the hip flexor. So not only is our right side different than our left side, but you are different today than you were yesterday, and actually even different this moment with this breath than you were on your last breath or before we started class. Come back up, bring both feet down on the floor, and it's time for Shavasana. So I asked you to get a pillow either from the couch or from the bed. We're going to take that pillow and place it on our lap. It's just a nice weight. It brings your knees up so that your arms have something soft and comfortable to lay on. And you can actually hold your palms out. You can hold your hands together, whatever feels comfortable. And while there's still a fist distance between your hip, the back of your body and the chair, now is where you want to, without a round back, but you just want to lean back so that you can get comfortable on the back of the chair and you can tuck the chin to the chest. You can keep your eyes closed if that works for you, or you can find a soft spot, a soft gaze at a focal point straight in front of you, whichever way your gaze, either eyes closed or a soft gaze, the idea is to go inward. And while we're here, you want to scan the body. So you want to start with the feet and try to be a tension hunter by looking for tension within your body and then aiming to release tension somewhere. So start with your ankles, your feet, work your way up to your thighs, your hips, your rib cage, your arms, your hands, your shoulders. I just felt tension in my shoulders. Relax something, your jaw, behind your eyes, or the crown of your head. And we'll be here for a few moments where you can just relax and let the body integrate all of the movements that we just did. So if you're ready, if you want to stay here, feel free. If not, you can start by wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, taking the pillow, removing the pillow, bringing your arms up in a deep stretch, and then bringing your hands to heart center. In yoga, we say namaste, which means that the light, here we go again with the light in me sees the light in you. And with gratitude for you joining me today, I say namaste. Thank you.